Hello and welcome to today's DTools i3 Partner Series webinar entitled Unlock the Power of Your DTools Data. My name is Jason Knott, Data Solutions Architect and Evangelist at DTools, and I'm excited to be hosting today's event. Joining me is Barry McCorkle, Director of Supplier Programs at DTools. Hey, Barry.
Hello, good afternoon.
So this is the webinar that many of you have been waiting for. I know we have. The DTools dev team has spent countless hours building the newly updated i3 Partner dashboard. For those of you who haven't logged into your personal dashboard in the past few weeks, you're going to see all the functions and all the features for the first time today. For those of you who have logged in the past few weeks, today's webinar hopefully is going to spur some ideas on how you can interpret the data and what actions you can take to boost your business. For today's event, obviously, we can't show any partner's actual data. That's proprietary just to yourselves. So what we've done is the next best thing. We've created a live demo, and in your own private dashboards, you'll even see more capabilities than what you're going to be seeing today in today's webinar. And reminder that the DTools team, Barry and myself, are available at your disposal to get on a call and run through your personal private dashboards with you and help you interpret some of the data. So let us know if you want to schedule that. This is the third in a series of monthly webinars that we're doing as part of the i3 Partner Series program. And I really want to thank you for setting some time aside for this today. Before we jump in, just want to give you a quick update on what's happening with DTools software, which, as you know, many of you hopefully know, we're the #1 end-to-end business management software for the industry. We've now got 8,000 users in 100 countries. Company's been around for 25 years, has two solutions. It's got the on-premises solution called System Integrator, or SI for short, and the cloud-based version that debuted about 6 years ago, aptly called DTools Cloud. And DTools Cloud is what we use to aggregate all the data for the data solutions group and identify these industry trends that we talk about today. So I want to come right out and thank everybody here for some really big news. Thank all of the i3 partners for partnering with us to offer DTools Cloud Solo for free to the entire industry, which we launched in mid-December. That effort has been beyond our expectations. We now have more than 2,000 companies that are part of DTools Cloud. That's more than 800 in just the past 3 months. So again, thank you again for being our partners and pushing this out. We want you to continue to tout the availability of the software. And Barry's going to talk a little bit about that later on in the presentation. All right. So not only has the software really got some momentum, but so does the i3 Partner Program. So we're growing by leaps and bounds. We've got now more than 400 brand partners who represent over 1,300 brands with their products in the DTools product library with the dealer level pricing, all that designed to make it easier and faster for integrators to build accurate proposals. Some of the highlights just quickly, again, today's webinar, we're talking about the new dashboard that's went live a few weeks ago. That's what you're going to see today. And I can't overstate how valuable this is going to be as a sales tool and an inventory management tool for you suppliers. The dashboard lets you see when your products are placed in proposals, in signed contracts, and being ordered. This insight is going to let you forecast your inventory well ahead and manage your sales cycles. Also, another highlight, we now offer unique pricing in 5 countries. The US, Canada, UK, New Zealand, and Australia. And we offer real-time API integration for pricing. So your product pricing can always be up to date. If you want to know about how you can have that connected with us, just ask. Also, we have other opportunities available for you to be able to connect with the dealers who are part of DTools via our newsletters and sponsored emails. Again, just ask us about that. Finally, we have, upon request, generated custom reports that we can do for i3 partners that are looking into particular categories or subcategories. So we got lots going on, and don't hesitate to reach out to Barry or myself for any of these features. All right, enough of that. Let's jump. I want to turn it over to Barry McCorkle, who is going to run through the new i3 dashboard with all of you. Take it away, Barry.
Thanks, Jason. Hello, everybody. Thanks for making it on board to the webinar today. As Jason mentioned before, we are going to be using a prototype to demo this for obvious reasons. We don't want to send sensitive data out there for another manufacturer. So we're going to use an internal tool that we use, but you'll get the same idea, look and feel, and hopefully spur some questions while we're going along. Like Jason said, just type them in the question spot. So we spent a long time redoing our dashboard. This has actually been in existence for about 2 years now, but the first iteration didn't really go far. We gave it a new look and feel, and most importantly, we made it exponentially faster. So one of the things we did to start with this was started from the ground up, and we redid all of our endpoints of how we query the data so that the response time for you when you're using it is very quick, so you can get to what you're looking for right away. The other thing that I'll point out here is it has a look and feel that also is going to be unified throughout, and we can expand on moving forward. And being able to add new widgets, modules, or extra data points every 4 to 6 weeks. We're treating this dashboard as an actual product, just like our cloud product or system integrator product. This is a product for you. And it has a living development calendar that will have constant updates so that we can constantly improve on it. So that being said, we'll jump into it. At the top left here, you see a number of authorized dealers. These are dealers that have requested to see pricing and you have approved them, or they've been approved through an automatic API process. But then that doesn't necessarily mean that those are the dealers that are actively using the software. So active dictates somebody that's used D-Tools to create a quote or has actively sold something in the past 6 months. These are the, so that's the delta difference between who's authorized and who's active. Hopefully your number is closer than 88, usually is. But that gives you an idea of actually who's using it. So over to the right, you get some aggregate totals, which are year-to-date quoted, year-to-date sold, or year-to-date ordered. It will have both a value, and then we'll also have a number of quotes attached to the quoted value or a number of projects attached to the project value. And then the bottom graph is more to get a little bit more interesting information, which is going to be what has been quoted, sold, and ordered over the last 30 days running. It's kind of interesting to see when proposals go out and then also when jobs are sold, and it does correlate to specific days of the week. Another thing about this is there's some features that I'm going to show you in here that actually aren't in the current live dashboard. One of them is this. It's a notification icon that tells you if there's any things that you need to do internally in the dashboard, such as approve dealers or check on something. So going to the dealers tab, in this screen, we break down how the dealers are approved for pricing. So you can be approved for pricing in either platform, cloud or system integrator. The numbers, once again, to stress that we're showing you are cloud-based. System integrator is locally based. We do not have the ability to tap into those numbers. So the numbers that are on this dashboard are all cloud-based. This gives you the breakdown of who those guys are, cloud versus system integrator. It's good news either way for you because the system integrator guys are still connecting to you on pricing, which means that they're actively using your product. But we have a large enough sample size of cloud to make it worthwhile for you guys to be able to see what's happening within that. We are adding some filtering capabilities to this so that you'll be able to fine tune the dealers that you're looking for to see their metrics within this. The last piece on this is we do show an average days of approval. This is kind of important because the quicker the response time there, the more active the dealer is going to be directly with you. So it is kind of key to make sure that your days from requested to approved is down. Hopefully not 13 days, maybe more like 1 to 3. Now we get into the fun stuff. So when we go into the authorizations section, these are dealers that have been requested, authorized, and or declined. In previous iterations of the dashboard, it gave you a list of who those dealers were, and you were able to click into it to see the dealer information. You could make sure they're in the right price tier, that the account number was right, whatever variables you wanted to go through with that. We've added 3 critical fields to this now moving forward. So if you subscribe to the Insights Plus dashboard, you'll now get quoted, sold, and ordered values at the dealer level. So you can literally come in here to see who is not only active, but who's actively quoting, selling, and ordering products within D-Tools. There are filters at the top so that you can adjust that to a specific time frame. It identifies which platform they're using, so you can tell if they're just using pricing or if you're getting the dollars and cents metrics to come back along with that. And then after you set your filters for this, you can go and you can export this to CSV file to use at your will. One note on the quoted, sold, and ordered numbers, you will see the values are going to be slightly different. Sold and quoted are always going to be higher because it's what the customer sees when they're signing off on the quote. The actual ordered value is always going to be lower because it's a cost. So it's something to keep in mind when you're coming in here to view the dashboard. After that, we'll move on to reporting. When you get into the reporting tab, it's got a very cool interactive state map. Darker areas mean more business is being conducted. Lighter areas means less. It has a hover over function. So if I go over a state, it will show you the metrics for that specific state. And then just like in the dealers tab before, you still get the metrics. So you get filters by month, by state, by product category, by supplier, and by brand if you have multiple brands. Actually, suppliers if you have multiple suppliers as well. Over to the right, after I set my filters, I'll see my metrics for what is quoted and sold and ordered for those specific criteria. And you can, once again, you can kind of play with this and the sky's kind of the limit. Some examples of use cases would be, you could see what sales are like, of course, for Florida for Q4 under a specific category. Or you can also see category share. If you look at the bottom, we've got 3 additional metrics down here. The middle one being category share. So we've always had in the past this quoted number, which was percentage of your products that had been quoted against all D-Tools parts, everything, right? Everything that's in our product catalog. Well, if you fine tune that by selecting the category that's unique to your specific product, it would then give you category share of how you're performing within D-Tools. And at the same time, keeping your competitors agnostic, which is what we're wanting to accomplish, because we don't want to show information that shouldn't be shown, but you should know where you stand in the overall perspective. It also will show now what you've sold. So there is a delta between quoted and sold because the life of a proposal can be anywhere from 3 months, 6 months, a year if it's a large project. So these numbers will vary fairly drastically depending on what's available or where they're getting it from. But now you get both of those metrics in there. The other 2 widgets at the bottom here are average days from quote to sold, which is kind of an interesting one that shows you how active your dealers are and their ability to close sales in what type of time frame. And it does give some trending information to show whether you're trending upwards or downwards with the amount of time that's associated to it. And then over to the right, you average days from sold to ordered. This is a critical metric because it actually shows you how long you've got to get specific products into the warehouse to make sure that you can fulfill what's being sold on these proposals that are out there. So this is a more critical one. This is definitely an interesting one, but you get the whole life cycle of the proposal if you use everything that's here. Excuse me. Moving on to the next tab here, which is going to be product sales. This dashboard gives you the ability to dive into really granular detail down to the item level. So you do the same thing here where you go and you set your specific filters, whatever that criteria is. And then after you do that, you can also set your display type to be either dollars or units. And then it will show those things here. These are filterable. So if I want to see what's highest quoted, I simply click on this. Sold, click on that. You get the idea. And then this will give you the actual SKUs that you need to make sure that you've got in those warehouses, whether it be self-supplied or distributor supplied, to take care of the business that's out there in the market that's pending. Use that with the metric on the previous page of the amount of days, and you know how many days you've got to get those products in the warehouses. Once again, information is exportable via CSV, so you can use it at your will, divvy it up by sales territory or whatever you need to do. Next metric we've got here is cloud comparative data. So we currently have 4 years running. We are right now working to get 2020 on board so that we can have a 5-year comparison. This will be a 5-year comparison chart. So once we get to 2025, it will stay 5 years moving forward and current. and just give you, a year-over-year metric as far as where you are to where you were the previous year, so that you know that you're on the right path. Once again, pointing out that the ordered number is always going to be smallest because it's a cost versus what they're selling the product for. And then down here, you get sales over the last 12 months. It can be adjusted to 30 days or 7 days, just to see your trending data. So you can see if things like trade shows, new product releases, or various other things have an impact on the business that you're doing overall within the DTools platform. Last but not least, we used to have a separate website for system integrator downloads called DT Connect. It's been sunsetted at this point because we aggregated that information into here. So you do still get to see that information, even though we're not able to provide you dollars and cents for the dealers that are using your products in System Integrator. We are able to tell you how often your products are being downloaded and essentially quoted. So typically, the more downloads that you have, it means that these integrators are speccing your product out more. So that's what the peaks are here. It means that you're doing more downloads for that product, for that dealer during that time frame. So once again, you can kind of see trending information if it's tied to a trade show or something like that. And then this, of course, is exportable as well, so that you can action on these items however you want, right? Examples would be, if you have somebody that doesn't have a lot of downloads, you could reach out to them and say, hey, we know that you're your DTools customer, we want to support you, what can we do? You can do the same thing with the dealers that aren't performing, right? Where I showed you, you can see quoted, sold, and ordered from cloud dealers. You can also download that information and reach out to them either as good job, we're here to support you with the quotes you've got going, or what can we do to make you more active, with our product. So you can use it however you like in that sense. So now that I've gone through the dashboard, the fun stuff continues, which is, I said this was a living product, and we really meant that. So we have a full product roadmap for the i3 Insights dashboard. We just did a release, so there were some new metrics that went in there, and we have highlighted out specifically here what's coming in April, in May, in June, and other larger features that haven't been slated in on a timeline yet, but that are going to be coming. This is going to be critical if you use the dashboard to be able to know what's coming. I'll make sure that everybody that's on this call gets a link to this so that you can use it. And then we need your input on this. Since it's going to be having new iterations every single month, we want feature requests. We want your feedback. This is great. This is terrible. Do you cool if you added this? This is buggy. It's not working, right? Whatever it is, come in here and use this link to let us know what you love, what you hate, what you'd like to see changed, and we'll make sure that we record it and treat it accordingly. All right, so now we've gone through the dashboard and also talked about the product roadmap, and let you know that this is active for you. Jason mentioned that we had added a significant number of dealers just over the last 3 months, and this is thanks to our partners. DTools Cloud Solo is able to be offered because of our partners that have affiliated themselves with us. We create a landing page for all of our partners, which is actually how we're able to offer this. This is an example of the one that we did for Wellsmart. We create this for you. You can use it at your will. But the idea behind this is the more people that are using DTools, the better it is for everyone. It's a win for you because you get better metrics. It's a win for us because we get more data points. It's a win for the integrator or dealer because they have a software that can now run their business more efficiently and conduct more business. So you have the power to give this to your dealers so that all those things can rise and we can all win together. If you don't currently have access to your dashboard, let me know. I'll make sure that you have it. We do have one created for everyone. And simple promotion, send it out via e-blast, put it in a newsletter, tell people about it, whatever you want to do. It just increases everyone's effectiveness with what we're trying to accomplish here. All right, so that is the majority of what I wanted to cover. And I'm going to go back to the slideshow here and let Jason take over for a minute here.
All right, great stuff, Barry. Before I jump into these last few slides and then we get to the Q&A, I just want to reiterate something that Barry said about how to make this dashboard data actionable for your company, and how vital it is to have your sales teams and your inventory management teams involved in the dashboard and checking it on a consistent basis. He mentioned just a great idea there. Just the simple one of looking at the number of authorized dealers that you have in the dashboard versus the number of active dealers, and then reaching out to those dealers who haven't spec'd your product in the last 6 months and saying, hey, we've noticed you haven't put one of our products into a proposal recently. Is there anything we can do to help you find our products? Did you need a demo or something of that nature? Let's say you sell through a rep network, or maybe you can identify that rep territory and then look at the amount of business that's quoted, that's sitting out there, that has yet been signed in the territory, and ask your reps, or you could directly contact those dealers and say in the territory. You won't know they're at the project level, but you'll know what territories they're in. Say, hey, is there any sort of incentive that we can offer you to help you close your open proposals that you've got out there right now? Same with the inventory. You can see in the dashboard what is being quoted, and that'll give you a real sense way ahead of time, knowing that you know the sales cycle and you know the buying cycle, the ordering cycle, of making sure that you're going to have those products in the barn, so to speak, when they're ready to be when they're sold and they're going to be ordered. So Barry and I are happy to talk to you at any time about ideas. If you want to bring your team on board, look at your dashboard and kind of have a think tank episode with us, we'd love to do that and figure out the ways that you can make sure that this dashboard is vital to your business. So, okay, real quick, I wanted to give you a sense of what we've got coming up from the i3 partner webinars and special reports. We have this calendar. This will be in your quarterly i3 partner newsletter, this link to this calendar every time, but you'll see we're going to be doing regular monthly reports. In fact, let me give you a heads up that the full year market, end of the year market report, health report, is going to be out in the next week or so. It's going to have some really, really interesting data that I think you're going to be fascinated by, to see how the end of the year or the whole year of 2023 ended up. And then we're going to be doing these monthly webinars, and you can see some of the topics there that we've got planned for this month, and then into the second half of the year on the next slide. Also, let's let you know that we've got podcasts that we're going to be planning to launch starting in May, and we're going to be bringing in some real high-powered dealer panels to talk about things that I think are really vital to you as suppliers, on how to do better trainings, what they like about your customer service, what they don't like, what they like about your warranty and shipping policies, how to make how to build loyalty amongst those dealers. So those are all going to be coming up in podcasts too. So, all right. I just want to thank everybody for attending today's webinar. Remind you to reach out to Barry if you want to schedule a run through with your dashboard. And again, thank you for joining us today.